Judiciary workers shut down Supreme Court in line with threats to embark on an indefinite strike. Death toll from tribal clashes in Sudan's West Darfur rises to 50. President Buhari says attacks on Imo prison and headquarters of the State Police Command are terrorist attacks. IMF excludes Nigeria, grants debt service relief to 28 member countries.
Hello and thanks for joining us on News Now. I am Michael Nath. Judiciary workers Tuesday morning shut down the Supreme Court in Abuja in line with their threat to embark on an indefinite nationwide strike to press for financial autonomy for the judicial arm of government. The development came as a defiance to the last-minute appeal by the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) to the workers to shelve their industrial action, which it said was ill-timed, considering the COVID-19 constraints the Nigerian courts had been battling with in the last year. According to reports, entrance of the Supreme Court at about 7:10 a.m. Tuesday were locked, and leaving workers who intended to resume duties after the Easter holiday stranded. The action taken by the union at the Supreme Court Tuesday morning is expected to be replicated across all Nigerian courts. In Lagos, members of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria on Tuesday also shut down the Federal High Court Ikoyi. Representatives of the union sent out staff from offices, courtrooms, and premises of the court around 9 a.m. They also sealed some of the offices and pasted strike notices on their entrances. Earlier on our breakfast show, Daybreak, our legal practitioner, Judiciary reacted to the ongoing strike action by the judiciary workers.
For so long, we deal with symptoms in Nigeria and we don't deal with foundations, because I've been reading about people begging them not to go on strike. Ideologue will not beg them not to go on strike. It's the same way we were begging ASU lecturers. What has happened to the education sector right now? The same way we were appealing to medical doctors, and yet we are not strengthening the medical facilities we have in the country, to the extent that my president and commander-in-chief is comfortable going abroad for treatment. You see, so we need to look at Nigeria, that if we continue this way in another 20 years, what kind of nation are we going to have? Because if you appeal to them and they resume again, we are fueling corruption. And Section 15, subsection 5 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 that's amended says that the state shall abolish corruption and abuse of office. Because where do they get money? I can share it here. I was in a magistrate court, and they needed to fix the door, the lock of a door. I opted to support because they were just looking. This is my constituency, the judiciary. We cannot be disclosing what we go through here. The same thing people complain about when they go to the police station. Some people may have to pay for charge sheet. You pay for this one, pay for that one, pay for you know. In fact, sometimes you abandon your case. And any society that does not create room for justice is grooming injustice. And injustice is the conveyor belt of failure in any society. And that is why we have all these challenges. The judiciary should be trusted. You know, these are critical issues. You know, anyway, if you get to the Supreme Court in Abuja, you'll be amazed. Beautiful place. But I say this with all due respect. Some of the facilities there that make it amazing are no longer functional. I was there this month, last month, yes, for a matter, all right? It's not about just putting a structure in place. You need to maintain. So, when you hold that, we know these things, but we just pretend about it. So, and if you don't empower an institution financially, what you are doing is to say, go out there and make your own money. Or somebody is holding down the money. We have adopted a system that I personally classify as insensitive, in the sense that you don't care what happens to the citizens as long as you are secured.
Wow.
The big question this morning, are we saying, except for the fact that the National Assembly members claimed to be broke in court, Are we claiming they are still not receiving their salaries?
Of course they are.
Are we claiming now that their outlays are not functional? I was in a social function and I was discussing with a senator, and by virtue of their office, he had about 8 mobile policemen escorting him. You see, so where do you put that? But the warning we give is that you will leave office one day. So I think it's all about incentive. Why should ASU, why should universities be shut down for longer than even 12 months? I mean, so you see, like someone said, no matter how fast you are traveling in the wrong direction, you can only end up in the wrong destination.
Definitely. The legal practitioner also shared his view on special court for bandits as proposed by former President Olusegun Obasanjo and the popular Islamic scholar Sheikh Gumi.
The same Sheikh Gumi, the elder consulting Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, took photographs with bandits.
Yes. And even he's
with
been
ammunition.
an advocate for amnesty.
Now, I have questions for him. Are we saying that these bandits never killed anyone? That is a criminal offense under the law. Or they never kidnapped. Or they never committed any atrocity. In fact, he raised an argument that the Fulani herdsmen are pushed to their atrocities because of cattle rustling. We are all in business. We lose money. Sometimes you work for clients that don't pay you. You don't go shooting them and killing them. You manage your losses. You are refined in your approaches. Another argument is that the bandits do not have a sense of security within the society. And I keep wondering, where is the place of emotional intelligence? And I see a regional guerrilla warfare going on. I have said it by content analysis. You can go and Google it. It's there. I'm not talking about fiction here. In 2013, my revered president, whom I respect so much, when he was still a candidate, said that the clampdown on Boko Haram is an injustice to the North. It's on record. Google it. It's there. He was making reference to the amnesty of the South-South. So it's now the turn of amnesty to Northerners. Or where did Boko Haram start from? Where are these bandits from? And this Boko Haram, by the way, started in the Bay region. The Bay region is made up of the Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa. Now insecurity is all over the country. We are talking about herdsmen feeling threatened, taking over forest, and we are helpless over it. When India has about 300 million cows, are they killing each other? Ghana flushed out the criminal elements in cattle rearing. So I think our unity that we have constantly denied discussing and consolidating, if we don't deal with it, we continue to constitute a threat. We have not come together to synchronize as a nation to leverage on the benefits of statehood. So you see all these agitations going on. So I congratulate them. It's not just about setting up a special courts that they discuss. They mentioned bringing, I think, about 13 million students that are out of school. And when we have a situation where a region of the country may appear to be comfortable about destroying education, because I asked that simple question.
The House of Representatives has urged the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria to shelve its proposed nationwide industrial action. The union goes on strike over the non-implementation of financial autonomy of the judiciary. Chairman, House of Committee on Judiciary, Honorable Onafiok Luke, gave the charge in a statement on Monday. He said the committee understands that financial independence is synonymous with an independent judiciary that can execute justice without fear of favor. He, however, urged the union to stand down and give the committee time to engage governments towards resolving the issue. Now, the federal government has described Buhari has described the attacks on the headquarters of the Imo State Police Command and the Correctional Center in Owerri, Imo State, as terrorist acts. President Buhari's reaction contained in a statement by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, lauded the prompt response by security guards on duty and security forces. The president directed security and intelligence agencies in the state and the geopolitical zones to fully mobilize and go after the terrorists, apprehend and punish them in accordance with the law. He also called for the best efforts to be made to rearrest fleeing detainees, many of whom are believed to be deadly criminals. The statement reads, quote, President Buhari then appealed to members of the public to assist the law enforcement agencies with any relevant information that could lead to the apprehension of these criminals who perpetrated this despicable act. He also urged members of the public to be vigilant, as all of us have a stake in preserving our way of life from disruption by terrorists and anarchists, while the federal government will use every available tool at its disposal to confront and terminate this barefaced anarchy. Now, the Nigerian Correctional Service said on Monday that 6 inmates had voluntarily returned while 35 others refused to escape from custody after the correctional facility was attacked in Owerri, Imo State. The CG, who disclosed this in a statement signed by the spokesman of Correctionals, Francis Enobore, ordered a comprehensive investigation into the incident and appealed to the good citizens of Imo State and indeed Nigerians to volunteer useful intelligence to recapture the fleeing inmates. Immediate payment of salary arrears of over 450 medical doctors. Those affected are mostly house officers who are being owed for 3 months. Also, government said it has started discussing with the Nigerian Medical Association NMA and other health associations on the review of the hazard allowance for all workers in the sector. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, acknowledges 5,000 naira hazard allowance per head as poultry and pledged to review it. The minister, however, said to the doctors to abide by their Hippocratic oath by calling off the strike in the interests of all Nigerians. The Katsina state government yesterday announced that it has attained 79% vaccination rate in the first phase of the implementation of the COVID-19 vaccination campaign. Executive Secretary, Katsina State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Shamusuddin Yahaya, said the state has achieved its primary target of reaching the frontline health workers during phase 1 of the vaccination campaign. According to him, Katsina State has implemented the COVID-19 vaccination campaign phase 1 for 12 days and has reached 79% of the target population, which are frontline health workers, other frontline workers, including security personnel and strategic leaders. Official statistics show the state has so far vaccinated 38,476 people, making it the 4th highest in vaccination ranking in the country. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Aladayo Amau has expressed confidence that the Nigerian Air Force will oust the terrorists and other criminal elements in Nigeria in no distant time. He gave the assurance during an Easter lunch with the personnel of 013 Quick Response Force, MENA, where he commiserated with families and colleagues of the 3 airmen who lost their lives in Alawa operations on 1st April 2021. Air Marshal Amau reiterated the commitments of President Muhammadu Buhari and the Nigerian Air Force towards ensuring that insurgency and armed banditry are put to an end. The Chief of Air Staff, who was represented by Air Vice Marshal Remigius Eke, commended the 013 Quick Response Force and air component of Operation Gamma Aiki, as well as the gallant officers, airmen and airwomen, urging them to remain resolute in the fight against insurgency and banditry in the country. He told them not to relent in their dedication and hard work towards achieving the mandate of protection of lives and property of Nigerians. You're watching News Now on iBrandTV. We'll take a break now and come back with more stories. Stay with us.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
Watching News Now on iBrandTV. Africa News Now. Tanzania's new president, Samia Suluhu Hassan, has marked a difference with her predecessor on Tuesday by saying her government would form a committee for scientific research into COVID-19. Recently deceased former President John Magufuli dismissed the threat from the coronavirus pandemic, saying God and STEAM remedies would protect Tanzanians. South Africa has signed an agreement with Pfizer Incorporated for 20 million dual-shot COVID-19 vaccine doses, a government official told Reuters on Tuesday, boosting plans to start mass vaccination from April. The deal is another fillip for the country worst hit by COVID-19 infections in Africa, as it adds to the 31 million single-shot doses from Johnson & Johnson, which the government approved on Thursday. The first batch from Pfizer is expected to arrive later in April. And Bampile, Deputy Director General at the Department of Health, told Reuters, but he did not comment on the price. Now, the government declared a state of emergency in the state on Monday after 3 days of clashes in El Geneina, the state capital. The United Nations said on Monday that at least 40 people had been killed and 58 others injured. The bloodshed is the latest in a resurgence of violence in Darfur region since the signing of a peace agreement late last year and the withdrawal of UN peacekeepers. Now, foreign news. Britain will begin the rollout of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine in mid-April. Vaccine in deployment Minister Nadim Zahawi said on Tuesday, adding that the vaccination program was on track to meet government targets. Asked if deployment of the shot was on track to begin in mid-April, Zahawi said very much so. Zahawi is confident the government would meet a target of offering all adults a first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine by the end of July. Now, Germany expects world financial leaders this week to back a 650 billion euros new allocation of International Monetary Fund's special drawing rights to help countries cope with the pandemic and its economic fallout, officials said on Tuesday. That is a reasonable figure, a senior German finance ministry official said ahead of the virtual spring meetings of the International Monetary Fund and World Bank. With the new U.S. administration backing the move, there is now broad agreement among IMF members to bolster the fund's emergency reserves, and a deal this week will pave the way for the fresh money being made available from August. An official said the new allocation will benefit countries struggling most from the pandemic, as roughly 42% of the new funds will go to the world's poorest countries. Michigan reported a record number of coronavirus cases on Monday to the daily tally among U.S. states, about a month after easing restrictions, when new cases showed a downward trend. It reported 11,082 cases on Monday, surpassing a previous daily peak of 10,140 hit on November 20, and bringing the total case load to 779,974. Michigan is currently the worst affected U.S. state in terms of new cases and hospitalizations per 100,000 people in the week to April 5. It is the only state to report more than 7,000 new cases on Monday. Following a slew of other states, Michigan began loosening restrictions around gatherings by increasing the capacity of gyms, restaurants, pubs, retail stores, and entertainment venues in March. The relaxations are set to last till April 19th. We'll take another break. We'll be back with business after this time out.
Fresh from the farm, it good for body. No chemical at all. This na real banga. No more wahala or pandy washy. Just put on for fire and your food is ready. Everybody follow me, chop banga, hey banga, oh. Make you follow me, chop
Banga cook don easy. Banga na palm fruit wey dem comot, put am inside can. You fit use banga cook any kind soup wey you like, and other food dem like rice, beans, and even yam. Na Pali Agro Product Limited dem dey manufacture am. For distribution, make you call 070-666-38213. Banga, for make your food yummy.
Hi everyone, my name is Chinwe Ebili. I'm here to introduce to you a very nutritious food produced and packaged by Pali Agro Product Limited. For this reason, the market has increased in stock. What are we talking about? True unripe plantain flour. It contains iron, fiber, vitamin B6, which helps your digestive system. Take a close look through unripe plantain flour, because it is satisfying, unique, and good for the red blood cell. It reduces risk of diabetes and excellent for production. Hurry now while the stock lasts. True unripe plantain flour is available in all leading stores nationwide. Produced and packaged by Pali Agro Product Limited, Ashikpa Village in Ogun State. True unripe plantain flour, superfood for healthy living.
You're watching News Now on iBrandTV. Business News Now. The Executive Board of the International Monetary Fund approved a third tranche of grants for debt service relief for 28 member countries under the Catastrophe Containment and Relief Trust. The IMF said in a statement on its website titled IMF Executive Board extends debt service relief for 28 eligible low-income countries through October 15, 2021 on Monday. The approval followed two tranches approved on April the 13th, 2020 and October the 2nd, 2020, respectively. It enabled the disbursement of grants from the CCRT for payment of all eligible debt serving falling due to the IMF from its poorest and most vulnerable members from April the 14th, 2021 to October the 15th, 2021, estimated at SDR 168, that is $238 million. This tranche of grants for debt service relief would continue to help free up scarce financial resources for vital emergency health, social, and economic support to mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The international oil benchmark, Brent crude, fell the most in nearly 2 weeks on Monday as growing delays in Europe's reopening and a looming Iranian supply dampened hopes for a swift decline in global inventories. Brent, against which Nigeria's oil is priced, dropped by $2.65 to $62.21 per barrel as of 9:06 p.m. Nigerian time on Monday, while the United States West Texas Intermediate fell by $2.75 to $58.70 per barrel. The United Kingdom may delay global travel beyond May the 17th if COVID-19 infections continue to surge around the world, while Italy also extended some restrictions for travelers, adding further pressure to a recovery in oil consumption, according to Bloomberg. And that's it on News Now here on iBrandTV. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Michael Nath.